Do you want to create a thriving community? If yes, I want you to really watch this show till the end because I'll be sharing with you a few hacks for creating a thriving community. So here's a strategy I want you to really think about. First of all, when we think about community, we're speaking about an online community. So the online community holds so much potential for meaningful, real engagements, plus a recurring revenue business that's super profitable for the host, right? But if you are a host who is struggling to keep your community immersed and engaged, it can be really frustrating. And you can feel a strong sense of failure, especially when you hear stories of people who are killing it, right? I mean, you're like, why them? Why not me? And you might be tempted to give up. Don't really give up. So instead of throwing in the towel, take a close look at what it actually takes to actually make a thriving community. It's not hard, but it is important to get some of the basics right to make sure your community can thrive. So what you want to do is you want to really think about consistency. You want to think about regularity, and you want to think about having an idea. So whether you are a struggling community owner or getting ready to start and you want to get it right from the beginning, in today's conversation, I'll explain to you what it takes to actually build a community that can thrive in the long run. So, but I want to first go back to a 101, online community 101. So we have a clear idea what the foundation of today's conversation will be about. So what is an online community? Let's talk about that. An online community is a group of people who have come together because they share a common goal, interest, or experience. Very important. This trifecta is critical. They have come together because they share a common goal, interest, or experience. So practically any topic can be used to foster an online community as long as you can unify people around shared motivation. So the shared motivation is the fulcrum. It is the foundation around which you actually will be able to coalesce people. And so that being said, to create a thriving community, you need more than just members. That's for sure. You need a whole lot of strategies. You also need to make your community space a place that people are excited to check in on. That means your community websites should provide members the tools to interact, connect, and share with one another their challenges and triumphs. And that will help you actually create that level of camaraderie and a sense of family. Let me give you the tactics here. Let's first talk about the groundwork. So when we talk about creating a thriving community, first of all, you got to really start with your story. I mean, sure, communities have demographics and psychographics, that's for sure. But most important of all, they have people. And those people, there are bunches of emotion. This is how we call them. Bunches of emotion. Everybody is a bunch of emotion. And often, one of the secrets to a thriving community is not a perfectly structured bundle or a slick copy. It's a story that resonates with members. What is your story? What is the fulcrum of your community? What is your story? And it's all about storytelling. I mean, and the storytelling is critical because it's going to push your members to actually coalesce, to actually gather around the community, okay? And so whatever your story is, you have something to give, right? So you want to sit with your story and look for clues of what you have to offer. What do you have to offer? When we talk about what do you have to offer, we are speaking about adding value. We are speaking about how do you solve members' pain points? How do you solve people's pain points? Everything revolves around that. Value adding pain points, okay? And so what have you overcome? What unique life experiences do you have? I mean, what really differentiates you from John Doe or Jane Doe for that matter? What is your unique perspective or identity? Because that's what's going to draw people to you in the first place. Not to you, but to the community that you are the host of. And what have you learned you could teach someone else? And going back to what I said about adding value, right? If you want to add value, why would somebody look up to you? What do you have? What kind of trigger? What kind of benchmarking factors do you have? Why should I actually waste 30 minutes of my time with you today or tomorrow? Okay. So before you think about designing the perfect product or marketing campaign, get your story right. It's all about storytelling. Whether you do copywriting or introduce your community, it's all about storytelling. So learn what it is, how it connects to your community. I'm talking about learn what your story is, how it connects to your community, and practice. You want to practice telling it to people over and over and over. This is where your power comes from. Your storytelling ability. Very important, not only in the short run, but also in the long run. So I'm still talking to you about how to create a thriving community. So the first thing is your story, really quintessential. And number two, you want to think about your ideal member. So when we speak about ideal member, we are speaking directly or indirectly about your persona, your member persona, right? So from your story, you want to look for others who share some of the same goals. It's all about what we call uniform decision making, uniform accountability. I mean, there are a lot of people who are currently where you used to be. Remember that you're not alone. You're not unique. And the question is, how could you help them? What sort of support are they looking for? I mean, if you have actually walked in their shoes, you know exactly what they need right now, right? And so we call this people your ideal member. This is actually your member persona. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make when starting a community is not having a clear idea of who it's actually for, right? You got to really have a clear idea. You got to really, when I mean clear idea, I'm talking about going as granular as actually depicting in your mind the name of the, like giving the ideal member a name, a gender, if possible, an age, demographics, a profession, and so on and so forth. Okay, and so when you start a community and you don't have a clear idea of who it's actually for, these are communities that often flop for lack of clarity. Okay, if you cannot elucidate the goal, you cannot elucidate the target audience, you are gonna fail. I mean, you're gonna fail big time. If someone were to ask you, "Who's this for?" and you reply, "Everyone," you've got some work to do. Let me rephrase that. You have a lot of work to do. A lot of work. You want to find your ideal member, clarify who they are, and then hone in on even more. So if you want to start with entrepreneurs, for instance, you can go from entrepreneurs to female entrepreneurs to millennial female entrepreneurs to millennial female entrepreneurs with creative businesses. See how much granular I'm getting with each iteration. That's what you want to have. So each step you take to get a clearer picture of your ideal member is going to help your community be better, more focused. And remember, in order to find someone who says, "This is for me," it's going to take lots of people who look at what you are offering and say, "This is not for me." That's normal. And just actually don't just guess at your ideal member is, don't guess what it is, who that person is rather, and what they want. Try interviewing some of them. It's a surefire strategy to move you towards a thriving community in the first place. When we talk about creating a thriving community, you got to have your big purpose. What's driving you? What's the force? What's the conceptual force behind everything? Okay, from your story and your ideal member, you are ready to develop your big purpose statement. Call it your mission statement, your vision statement, your objective, your goal, or what have you. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that what really wakes you up in the morning? What do you think about going to bed at night? What is actually driving you every single day? That's really your big purpose. You are bringing together a group of people for a reason, right? And a major characteristics of a thriving community is being clear upfront, not later on, not 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now or 20 years from now. Being clear upfront about why everyone is together and what you are working to build in the first place. Think of your big purpose as the motivation for your community. Not only your own motivation, but also the motivation that will underlie your future members. You can call it motivation, you can call it dedication, you can call it accountability loop. It really depends on you. Okay, and it's actually something that can only accomplished by bringing together the exact people you have in your community. So this is an important element to really think about, especially in the long run. And if you are unsure on how to communicate your big purpose, you can actually let us know in the comment section, and one of our team members will get back to you. Will help you actually create a template that will be adapted to your community and also your geography. And so your big purpose is all about making clear what your online community is trying to achieve. When the steps are clear for what your online community is working to accomplish, it makes potential members more willing to join your movement because they have clarity. They have clarity around your community, and that will help them actually say, you know what, this is for me. This is actually for me, and this is what I want in my life right now. So let's talk about structuring your community. So I explained to you the groundwork. So the groundwork is around the trifecta of story, ideal member, and big purpose. Now let's talk about structuring your community. So you got to charge something. Okay, let's talk about money. So of course, basically you might say, well, money, people will just run away. No, no, that's the other that's the opposite that happens. People actually value what they pay for. So you want to charge something. Don't try to really have anything for free. Okay, basically, if you want to know the real power of the membership fee, you have to see that basically over time, a membership fee actually helps you create community engagement. Free communities don't always lead to powerful connections. After all, how many Facebook groups have you joined and never stepped foot in a game? When people pay something, they are putting skin in the game. And that's what you want. You want to have skin in the game from your members. And that makes them pay attention and work harder at transformation, and which gives you more success stories, which makes your community grow, and so on and so forth, right? So you want to charge something. Charge something. It doesn't matter if it's 10 bucks a month or $5 a month or $9, $9.99, whatever. I mean, but the thing is that you need to really charge something. And number two, you want to curate space. So an online community is a group of people coming together to accomplish a common goal, right? But that doesn't mean that all your members are the same. They're not equals. As you get to know your members' interest, you can group similar people together to create connections, right? It's going to deepen and broaden the relationships within the online community even further. So when a community starts, there is electricity. Often even a group of 10, 20 people can all know each other by the name and build friendships. But as you grow, it gets harder and harder for everyone to know everyone. And by the time you hit 100 members, it's impossible. That's why you need to curate spaces. Spaces are often smaller groups that let people make real friends, working closely with people who will cheer them on. And the big group creates a great space for discussions and events. And you need to have that sort of space. And so by bringing together people in smaller groups, you are creating more chances for members to form real connections with others and laying the foundation for a thriving community. What you want to do also is you want to host live virtual events. So hosting regular virtual events is really another great way to create a thriving community. Why? Because it gives you a chance to talk directly with your voice and face to your members. People will see you, people will feel you, they won't feel you, but they will actually sense who you are, right? I mean, don't worry though, hosting a live virtual event doesn't need to be a grand production. Feel free to go above and beyond with it, sure. But a virtual event can also be a cocktail mixer. In fact, ask any community owner, and sometimes members' favorite part of a community life are the unstructured moments. It can be actually challenging to stay invested in a group that you never meet face to face, because we're all humans, we are social animals, and at some point you need to meet to actually talk to people face to face. One way to build a thriving community is actually by figuring out ways to have video hangouts so people can see each other, at least see each other. If they can't touch each other, at least they can see each other. But of course, you can teach too. You should consider live presentations, webinars, lectures, and guest interviews as alternative live events. And all of those experiences allow you to assure others that you are indeed a human, right? Okay, jokes aside, they make it much easier to feel invested in you and your brand. Putting yourself out there for your members to see you as a human brings an extra layer of personality and flair to your persona. Next, you want to create a course. Creating a course is really important also in terms of monetizing. Basically, when it comes to having a thriving community structure, you want to add in a course. And you can easily build an elegant, intuitive course for your members to join. And courses are cooler in a community. Unlike the cold, canned e-learning you have probably had to sit through, community courses bring together people to learn from the teacher and from each other. They can be pre-recorded, but they can also be live, and there is nothing like the energy and excitement of a live course. A course actually creates a structured transformation journey for your members, which is really huge in terms of bonus for an existing community, because it adds an extra layer, once again, of an extra layer of camaraderie, an extra layer of sense of family. Next, you want to create different types of content. So if you want to create a thriving community, think about having different types of content. So do you know what keeps people excited by your brand? Creating new and interesting content. If you want to create a thriving community, then try to keep the experience unique for your members. And so that's kind of cool. So you want to have a clear purpose that will guide your members step by step towards accomplishing their goals. But that doesn't mean you cannot surprise them from time to time. Okay. And that's kind of important. So creating new content doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel. It could be as simple as utilizing a poll or a QA post occasionally. Your members are not a monolith. While they are a striving community to accomplish a common goal, they all learn differently. So this is a major benefit for you in our experience. So this might mean a few things. Basically, again, what it means actually will depend upon the niche you're in. This means that you can tap into all the different interests of your community by trying different forms of content. If you are interested in what kinds of content you might try, here are a few ideas. Discussion board posts, polls and Q&As, recorded videos, live streams, paid content, but also online courses. You can also put the spotlight on your members. You know, you might be running the show, but it's important to put the spotlight on your members and their accomplishments. And spotlighting your members' accomplishment is a great way to show that goals are being met, aka you've got the receipts. But it's also just a good gesture plus a lot of fun. It gives members a chance to get to meet each other and to form deeper relationships. So highlight member stories in a monthly post, host a member spotlight event, and have members write about their experiences themselves. So that's kind of cool. And the last thing you want to do also is to ask for feedback. So when you are working in an online space, it can sometimes be hard to know if your content is striking a chord. So that's kind of cool. You can ask your members, what's up? Are you enjoying yourself? If you want to build a thriving community, then creating clear and open channels of communication is important. So when your members feel comfortable telling you what is and is not working, they are more likely to stay active and invested. And additionally, you can turn asking for feedback into an event for your community. Maybe once a month, you hold office hours either through a Zoom meeting or a discussion board and discuss what's going well and poorly. That way you have a clear idea what's really happening here. You could even consider an anonymous poll or survey to get some really valuable feedback. This gives your members a controlled and safe space to voice their concerns and ideas with their fellow members. And that's an important element to think about. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about a few hacks for creating a thriving community. I give you the strategy and I give you the tactics. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.